Mike and Mike here on the Sports Batch 97.3 ESPN. And as we've been talking, the Eagles going to have a lot of trouble with Greeny's Jets because obviously very good defensively, Greeny, and I would assume that they've exceeded some expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I expected the defense to be good. Clearly, you're not going to force 5 turnovers in every game, and they forced 5 in each of their first 2 games. But I do think that the scheme that they play and the talent they have at the cornerback position, which goes deep, it's not just Darrelle Revis. It's Antonio Cromartie. It's Buster Screen. They've got a lot of guys back there that can play. I think they're able to hold up in coverage while getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So I think it is the kind of thing that they could be a team that turns other teams over frequently. And as a consequence of that, they have the best average starting field position of any team in the league so far, and that's helped what is, I think, a middle-of-the-pack offense look pretty good so far. So I don't think the Jets are a great team by any means, but I think they're a good team. The Eagles, I don't know what they are, and Golick, I think maybe a bigger problem is I don't think they know what they are.
Yeah, I mean, we know everybody hears Chip Kelly and the offense he runs. Everybody thinks pass, 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 but I think people in Philadelphia understand at this point that he wants to run the ball. Right now he can't run the ball. And I don't know if it would make a difference. I know if Shady McCoy was still there or not. At this point, the style of DeMarco Murray is not fitting what's going on with the running. He's a runner, and he has to go east and west. A lot of penetration on the line. The blocking up front is struggling right now. And DeMarco's type of running doesn't fit it. He can't get downhill anywhere. As soon as a downhill runner is asked to stop and restart side to side, they're dead. A guy like Shady McCoy a couple of years ago in Chip's first year, he led the league in rushing. He was a guy who could avoid that first rusher if there was a little bit of penetration with his quickness and then make some yards. That's a different story with DeMarco Murray. So they do have to clean up the blocking. As Chip said, we're not changing the personnel. This is who we have. It's up to the coaches to figure out a way to be able to game plan for the players to execute better.
Mike and Mike are with us, and I heard you guys specifically when Chris Carter was on the other day saying that Chip Kelly's not going to change what he wants to do. We're going to dive into this in just a minute. I want to let you know that Mike and Mike are trying to find out how fans can elevate their tailgating to a championship level along with Lee Jeans. They are heading all over the tailgating world to find out how fans across the country throw legendary pregame bashes. And we know Eagle fans can really do it, but if this thing continues to go downhill, we'll wonder if they're tailgating because of fun or tailgating because they want somebody out, because Chip Kelly, Golick's not going to change what he does. Now, we were talking about this before you guys came on. They have been successful running the ball. So is it their personnel, or are people starting to figure out what Chip Kelly's doing? Because they were successful running the ball the first 2 years he was here.
Well, they were, and that certainly is a function of Chip brought a little different to the league, and sometimes it takes defenses. It depends on what side of the ball is doing something different to figure it out. So I think they had that luxury a little bit. And, yeah, you know, you figure out what to do. You get a lot of movement on that offensive line, a guard pulling, a center pulling. And as defensive linemen, now they're filling the gap. You know, when you get a guard pulling something, you know, are you the guy that's on you is the guy next to him. Do they have to cut him? Do they have to cut him off? Are they not doing it? Are they spread too far? Because the penetration is getting behind the line of scrimmage, and it's forcing that, again, that downhill runner who doesn't have the ability to shake and make a first guy miss have to stop and change direction. So it's a little of both. You know, we all know they changed the guards this year. Ehrman's over with the Colts and Mathis is with Denver. So that's a difference. You have 2 different guards going on. I know Peters is nicked up a little bit. I love Kelsey. I know he had the issue with the snap the other night, but I love him, especially him getting to the second level. It's real simple, guys. This is Chip Kelly's team. And in the prognostications before the year, I had Philly making the playoffs as a wild card, and I said Chip Kelly would be the coach of the year. I said I think his way will hit. And I couldn't be more wrong at this point. It's 2 games in, but it's going to be very simple. Chip now buys the groceries, sets the table, cooks a meal, and feeds everybody. So 2 years from now, if it doesn't work, he'll be back on a sideline in college. 2 years from now, if it does work, he'll be, you know, considered this genius who knows how to take personnel to fit into his scheme.
Yeah, guys, let's talk about that genius for a while because, you know, that tag has been applied to Chip Kelly a lot. But if you look at the X's and O's, he really runs pretty simplistic stuff. Is this offense just about tempo, or is it something else? In other words, if they're not moving the sticks, can it be successful on a consistent basis just by out-scheming people.
Oh, God, no, it can't. Not if they're not moving the sticks. Understand. I mean, I don't care how much conditioning or eating right or sleeping that you do. If your defense is on the field for over 40 minutes, you can throw that stuff out the window because it doesn't matter. Because in practice, you're not practicing 40 minutes on the field of hitting, and that's what these guys are doing, hitting and running, hitting and running. You're not going to get used to that. So if you can't execute that offense and Chip Kelly is going to stay with it, then you are going to live or die by it. Because if you're out 3 and out and your drive took 44 seconds and now you're back on the sideline and your defense is back out on the field, those guys you're going to kill them. Or you better have an unbelievable amount of players that you can rotate in. So it's up to the coach. If it's not working, do you stay with the fast pace or do you change it up a little bit, slow it down? And if I were Chip, this is Chip's deal. This is how he plays the game. I don't see him stopping. What they're going to have to do is game plan. Do you game plan it differently? Do you not pull your guards or your center as much? Do you not create those openings for the D linemen to come through and make penetration? You know, do you get the ball out even quicker? Though they're already doing that. Bradford's certainly not driving the ball downfield at all. So I don't think Chip's going to change. They have to execute better, and the game plan has to put the players in a position to execute better.
We're talking with Mike and Mike here on 97.3 ESPN. The sports radio duo is going to talk about some tailgating. Before we get to that, Green, I do want to ask you real fast. When you entered this year and you saw Eagles week 3, do you feel differently now than you did when this game was on the schedule originally?
Yeah, of course I do. You referenced it at the beginning of our previous conversation. I'm never watching the preseason again because in July I was saying to everyone and on the air, I think the Eagles are going to be a big mess. I think they're going to be 6-10. I don't buy Sam Bradford. I never have. I couldn't understand. I think Nick Foles is better than Sam Bradford. I didn't understand the deal in the first place. Shady McCoy and all these other guys, I didn't get it. And then I fell for it. I got suckered in. I watched the preseason, and they just looked so good that I changed my mind. I picked them to win the division. I picked them to win 10 or 11 games, I forget which. And I certainly thought they would beat the Jets, who I thought and still think are going to be an average NFL team. I don't think of them that way anymore. I don't know that I've ever seen a team play a worse half of offensive football than they played Sunday against the Cowboys. And that's not the 85 Bears defense they were playing against either. So has my opinion of them changed? Yes, it most certainly has.
All right, Mike and Mike here. Mike and John with Mike and Mike. You guys are checking out tailgating all over the world. You're checking out fans, surveying fans, to throw out the pregame must-haves and must-do. Tell us a little insight from the Lee Jeans tailgating survey of some of the things that you guys have found out. Now, I've always said, hey, look, I went to WVU, and I'm an Eagles fan, but the college tailgate is professional. The pro tailgates are amateur. I think the college wins there. What have you guys found out?
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, you can get all the survey answers at Lee.com, but as far as pro, Green Bay was overwhelmingly considered the best. I prefer Kansas City a bit. Jeans are worn by 72% of people. Certainly, I wear it for comfort because these Lee jeans have a bit of a waistband that expands a little bit. I stuff my pie hole with about 6 cheeseburgers and a dozen beers, so that helps. Greeny goes for the style a little bit more there, but I completely agree. I am a college tailgating guy. I like them both because I like tailgating, but if you make me pick, I'm picking college.
I've had some wonderful pro tailgating experiences. Guys, in San Francisco, and I don't know how this would go over in Philly, but in San Francisco I saw people that had lobsters on a grill, they had Caesar salad, they had white wine. Now that's what I call taking it to another level. And so I like that, and that's what we're talking about with Lee jeans. You know, you take the comfort, your basic staples, and you dress it up a little bit, and the Lee jeans are stylish enough that you could do that. You could dress it up with a nicer shirt or something like that if you choose to. So whatever it is you want to do at your tailgate, you will always look right doing it. And I like my tailgates on Sundays. I like my football better on Sundays, so I'll take the tailgate on Sundays too.
All right, guys, real quick, where can the listeners go for more of the survey results that we just kind of briefed over here today?
Well, we're a couple of simple people. The name of our show is Mike and Mike, so it's very simple. Lee.com.
Yeah, even Golick can spell it.
All right, well, I'm sure it'll be fun this week between the two of you getting ready for Eagles and Jets and the entire NFL slate. Listen tomorrow, 6 to 10 for the guys, as they will have plenty more on the Week 3 NFL action. Go to Lee.com for more on the survey. Thanks, guys. We'll hear you tomorrow morning.
All right,
Thank you.